Hello everyone and welcome to the season finale of the RRL GT3 Masters. It's the 8th edition of this massive championship and we are here to follow the final race of this season live from Suzuka International Raceway. It's going to be a long race, 2 hours to finish off this season for the 8th round of this championship. And in terms of settings for the drivers, it will be a dry race with 2 mandatory fuel pit stops and the normal 2-hour race to finish things off. So everything is on the line and we'll see who comes out on top after just 2 hours. We will have a 20-minute qualifying session as always in about 12 minutes time. But before that, let's dive into the current season standings. Here we are, looking at the Drivers' Championship. Michael Thomas is firmly in the lead with just under 60 points. There is a way for him to still, for this to still go wrong, but it has to be a dramatic race with Michael not finishing and Bram finishing the race in first position. And then in third, we have Max Bayer, and he has also a healthy lead over Wouter Billen and Marvin Mackenberg as well. So behind Marvin, it gets quite tight. We'll see who is on the server when qualifying starts, and then we will be able to see who can still gain some points. In the Silver Cup, it's Sven de Wulf firmly in the lead as well. Xander Huizing is not racing anymore. He's already 40 points behind, so it's actually his teammate Tino de Munk with 188 points that is behind him. So normally that's a championship in the bag for Sven de Wulf. We'll see how the Yellow Bull Racing guys get along with Suzuka tonight. And then looking at the AM Cup, Stefan Virlos, 149 points for him. He is followed by Ruud Dennis, and we saw a great battle between the two in the previous round as well. But Stefan at the moment also firmly in the lead there. So we'll see if we can crown him champion at the end of this race. In terms of the team's championship, Speculacious, that's Sven and Marvin Mackenberg, look to grab this one with 695 points for them. Intense Racing is quite a ways behind with 617, NSN 603, and then Windward Racing to round off the top 5 together with Grizzly Racing. And in the Nations Cup, it's very, very tight still. Belgium has jumped to the front again with 9 drivers and 232 points. Then it's Austria and Germany for the top 3. As you can hear in the background, everybody is setting their practice lap times. And we've seen some fast Lexuses. Max Bayer has put in a lot of practice for this race. So we'll have to see if he can pull another win out of the bag. And let me check. Yeah, Bram de Pretre and Michael Thomas are both on the server, so they will both be driving in this race. Also, Stefan Virlos and Ruud Dennis are on the server, and Sven de Wulf and his teammate Tino de Munk as well. So top 2 in all the classes will be defending their positions, at least in this race. This series, this race, and this championship is sponsored by SimLab, and yes, quick second to pull up the prizes for this season. To remind you, first place in the Drivers' Championship will receive a SimLab voucher for 175 euros. Then all the way down to 5th place, we will be handing out these vouchers. And then even more importantly, maybe, is the commitment vouchers. You can see 125 euros 3 times for drivers who have raced and finished in at least 7 of the 8 rounds. So we do reward commitment when you sign up to our series. We've also had a livery launch week, more on that later. And there were some prizes offered by Race App, our championship management system, as well. And then the community itself is offering 2 GT World Championship tickets to first place in the Teams Championship and some t-shirts for all the class winners. So many thanks to SimLab and Race App for their sponsorships and for helping out with this series. And now before we dive into the action, we have one more livery launch to share with you, and that is the one of the current reigning Teams champions, Intense Racing. As you could see in the earlier slide, they are currently in second spot. David Dore and Cliff Bilke have teamed up as Intense Racing for a couple of seasons now already. They are a household name of the championship and of the community. Let's have a look at their livery launch presentation. So a beautiful presentation, that is for sure, by the current reigning Teams champions, Intense Racing. And here is their beautiful Mustang, driven by Cliff Bilke in the final stages of this practice session, the final practice session of the season even. Before we dive into the qualifying session, 20 minutes, let's have a quick look at the heritage of this series, because this is the 8th edition already of the GT3 Masters, and we've gone through many iterations, many sims, well, two sims already, and a lot of drivers and teams that have been with us for a long time, and also new teams. So the first ever GT3 Masters was held in Race Room Racing Experience, and you can already see David Torre, currently racing for Intense Racing, but won the team's championship together with Vlastimir Lukas in the first championship. 39 drivers in 8 rounds back then. Then another one in Race Room, this time won by Ralph Arella and 77, where Arella and Robert Horvat were still teammates. And the next one, 42 drivers as well. The last one in Race Room, won by Mike Stoffmail and Ralph Arella and 77, again the team's champions. And then champion Bram de Pretre for the 4th edition, the first one in ACC. De Pretre also taking the team's championship, Callum Morgan the AM Cup, and Grant Jones the Ironman championship. And then we moved on in ACC. 5th edition was won by Cliff Bilke himself, with Intense Racing taking a team's championship, one of their many championships for sure. The 6th edition was won by Bram de Pretre together with his teammate De Keizer. They also took the team's championship. And the 7th edition, last time around, it was Max Bayer taking the crown, but Intense Racing, as I said already, taking the team's championship as well. And Hannah Song, currently racing in the Silver Cup, back then was still an M Cup driver and won that championship on her own. So now we are in the 8th season, the end of the 8th season. 40 drivers signed up, 8 rounds, and this is the finale of this championship. Now let's jump onto the server and get some live images from Japan. Everybody getting ready. As you can see, 21 drivers currently on the server. Maybe there will be a couple more to come, but in any case, the qualifying session coming up, and we will see some fierce battles. Can Max Bayer, who has set the fastest lap time in the practice server, let me quickly check what kind of lap time that was. It was a 157.997, so just under 158, with 378 laps of practice. So a lot of practice done by Max Bayer for this race. Can he capitalize on that practice, or are Michael Thomas and Bram de Pretre taking another win in this championship? We'll have to see how that evolves and who can take the win. But still, a lot of practice put in by the drivers. We see Tino de Munk as well, 315 laps of practice. If you consider 2 minutes per lap, more or less, that's a lot of time spent in the seat of the Lamborghini, the Yellow Bull Racing Lamborghini for Tino de Munk, for example. And we'll have to see if that pays off. Everybody now getting ready. Let's have a quick look at the track map. 2 drivers still driving around at the moment. And then we can get ready for qualifying. I'll get all my timing up for you as well and guide you through what will be a great qualifying session for sure. Suzuka always encourages the driver to push harder and harder and harder. And mistakes can always be made, of course. As I said, the most of the championships are probably decided, but you never know. there's any hiccups. Let's see who got out first. Once again, as we've seen so many times, it is Bram de Pretre, but this time I want to try and focus on Max Beyer. Third spot. Third spot for him in the championship, and he's third on the road. So Bram de Pretre, Michael Thomas, and Max Beyer all getting ready in their outlap. Wouter Billen is also fourth in the championship, so they're in championship order, more or less. No, that's not true. Michael Thomas, of course, is in first by quite a margin. So let's jump on board with Max Beyer. Of course, he needs to pay attention to not be passed by Wouter Billen behind, for example. So there's a good clean air in front of him. Let's see what kind of banker lap he can put in the Lexus. He was quickest, and I'll shut up for this entire lap. So the time's coming in. Max Beyer just behind Michael Thomas. High 58s, 58.6, 58.7. So good laps for these guys, that's for sure. Now let's see who we can follow around. Rob Taplin, for example. He's in the S's, and well, what you could see, of course, is Max Beyer taking the whole width of the track, especially in turn one, going left onto the edge of the track to make those turns as wide as possible and carry as much speed as he could. But yeah, very, very close times. 1/10 between Thomas, Bayer and De Pretre. So everything is still to play for there. And the times coming in now as well. Rob Taplin still to set a time. And he's followed by Ralph Arella. Rob Taplin is also in the Lexus. So let's see. Wouter Billen, Cliff Bulke, also not too far off. It's quite a long lap here at Suzuka, almost 2 minutes. And so sometimes times are a bit less close. But for now, let's see. Bram De Pretre will be first across the line. Coming up now. Let's see if he can jump to the front. Yes, he does. Jumps to the front. Bayer now jumps ahead as well. 58.3 now. And Billen as well improves. As does Sven Mackenberg. So Michael Thomas now down to 5th position. And so now everybody has put in their banker laps more or less. Only Taplin and Huma need to put in their laps. And here is Partish. He's 4/10 up on his own time. And what are the front runners doing? Sven Mackenberg is improving slightly. Tommy Kosunen in 13th as well. But here comes Partish, and he will jump from 16th. Up to 14th for him. So currently Bayer, De Pretre and Billen. Pavlacek, Heron and De Munk in the Silver Cup. Where is Sven de Wulf? He's in 18th at the moment. And let's see Marvin Mackenberg in the hairpin. And he is 3/10 up. Can he get close to his teammate and brother Sven Mackenberg in 4th position? Improvements as well by Tino De Munk, Tommy Kosunen, Kevin Rowlands. Ooh, very wide there for Marvin. But the Lexus working well for now. Let's see. Marvin will improve. And 9th will become 5th or 6th. 7th it is for him. Top 7 within half a second. Then a half a second gap to Raffarella. That's no worries. Still 11 minutes left on the clock, so everything still to play for. Let's have a look at Kevin Rowlands. In 15th at the moment. He was running comfortably in the top 5 at the Nordschleife, so he has the pace. His teammate Huma is just in front of him. 2 Windward Racing cars. The last 2 cars in the Pro Cup, let's say. Rowlands will improve by quite a margin. Oh, Sven Mackenberg has jumped Bram de Pretre as well. He's now in 2nd, 0.02 of a second quicker than Bram. So Bayer Mackenberg in the Lexus, upsetting the normal front runners this season. And Sven Mackenberg going quicker still. And he's in the final stages of this lap. Can this be provisional pole for Sven Mackenberg? Looks like he lost a bit of time there in the final chicane, and he does not improve. He was up quite a margin even. Tino de Mink across the line up to 9th position. And Cy Fillingham, let's have a look at him. He still has a ways to go. He's in the hairpin, but he is 3/10 up currently. Wants to get a bit closer to the front of that Silver Cup field. No other improvers at the moment, except for Cy Fillingham. So we can follow him around through the chicane. And now on the power. Oh, that will be a good improvement for Cy. Can he get close to Ralph? I think he will. Let's see. Jumps just behind his teammate Ralph Varela. And we've not seen Wouter Billen so far, but he is slightly slightly improving, but not anymore. And I know who is improving quite massively even. It's our Silver Cup Championship leader, Sven de Wulf. He's currently all the way down in 19th spot. And so he needs to get a move on. 7 minutes 40 seconds on the clock. Through 130R in the Lambo. Keeps it far away from track limits. And he will be improving. He is not feeling too well at the moment, so he's hanging on. Let's hope he can make it to the end of this 2-hour endurance race, but he will improve from 19th to 17th position. He will normally go for another run. So who else is improving? Everybody seems to be on their out laps. Margins are very, very small, of course. Marvin Mackenberg. Improving slightly. Also Ralph Varela. Slightly improving, but also Max Bayer. So can Max get close to that 158 mark that he surpassed during the practice sessions? The track is optimum. It's not too hot. Conditions are looking good. And onto the power. Get as much traction as possible. And he will gain a bit of time. But not enough to make a big difference in terms of position. And our championship leader, Michael Thomas, what can he do? Can he snatch away pole in these final 5 minutes of the session? Flashing his lights to one of the Windward Racing cars to get it out of his way. He is up slightly through 130R, but has lost that advantage. Now, not the greatest chicane for him, so it will be a slight improvement. Not even. So that mark by Max Bayer, a tough one to beat, it seems. Marvin Mackenberg is having another go into the hairpin. So the first sector is always good. 3/10 up at the moment, so that gets you very, very close to where you need to be. Can he hold on? Let's go on board with Mackenberg through 130R. Planted, very nice. Through the chicane, oh, a bit wide maybe. No, oh, a good one. Let's see where this puts him. Losing a bit of time there coming out, but he will jump up to 5th position. Michael Thomas down another position. And let's see, Max Bayer is also improving, as is Rob Taplin and Michael Huma in 15th. So good tight qualifying session here at Suzuka. Always nice to see. And here is Max Bayer coming out of Spoon Curve. Can he raise the bar for the rest? Through 130R. And in the Grizzly Racing Lexus. Jumping across the curbs. Oh, that's looking good. He will push it a little bit further. Just a tiny bit. It seems that lap time was not valid for him. So not an improvement on the timing sheet. Can anyone get in the way of Max Bayer starting from pole as he did at the Nordschleife? Tino de Munk currently taking the honors in the Silver Cup, but the gap to Paul Heron under a 1/10 of a second. Cy Fillingham half a 1/10 down, and Tommy Kosonen another half a 1/10. So it is very close in all different championships. Here we go. 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. Who can go quick? Well, Sven Mackenberg can. Races to the line. Wow, and he gets within 25 thousandths of a second of pole position, and he has one more go. And here's Max Bayer. The track seems to be improving a bit. Max Bayer to the line as well. And this time it will count. And he pushes the bar a little bit higher for the rest. Marvin Mackenberg, his brother in 5th, is also improving. Getting a bit of a draft there from the Lambo of Stefan Virlos, I think that was, or Paul Heron. Oh, a bit wide there for Marvin. And now when it counts, I see green sectors for Michael Thomas. As Marvin Mackenberg jumps to third spot. Very nicely done for Speculacious. But Michael Thomas, and there in the background, oh, Bram de Pretre, very wide. He was gaining some time, but lost it all now. But Michael Thomas is having a massive improvement right now. Can he get close to or ahead of Bram de Pretre and crucially maybe Max Bayer? At the moment he's 2.5 tenths up, so that's not enough. But he still has a ways to go. He's in Spoon Curve, final sector. Ahead of him now. Straight line speed will be the key here as the timer hits 0. De Pretre still running, but not on a better lap. Thomas is through the chicane, and Thomas will improve. Where will he end up? To the line, last driver, and he jumps up into third spot, 2.8 tenths down on Max Bayer, but Max Bayer, the current reigning champion, will start from pole position here at Suzuka. So we have the race cut out for us. Michael Thomas and Bram de Pretre, the two front runners who were battling it out for most of the season at the front, will start from 3rd and 5th. And we have Max Bayer, Sven Mackenberg, Marvin Mackenberg, and also Wim Willem Bilke, etc. Very, very close. So we'll have to see. This could be a cracker of a race in all of the classes. At the end, Radek Pavlacek took pole position in the Silver Cup in the Mustang. Tino de Munk in 2nd. And then Paul Heron in 3rd in that class. Cy Fillingham in 4th. And for the AM Cup, it was Stefan Vierloos in 20th and Ruud Dennis in 21st. The gap was significant, but in the race, you never know. Try to get that first lap done cleanly, and then you have a base to build on for the next 2 hours. I'll take a quick break before the race starts, and yeah, we'll be with you live when the cars get rolling for the formation lap. And so we are rolling for the formation lap. Of the final round of the RRL GT3 Masters 2024 Grizzly Racing, followed by Speculations. So four Lexuses in the top 10, 3 Mustangs, 1 Ferrari, 1 BMW, and 1 Lamborghini. So perfect conditions for the drivers. Let's employ our heli cameraman to get a good overview. Everybody warming up their tires. And Dennis currently at the back of the pack, warming up his tires. Right behind his main rival, Stefan Virlos. And we'll see what kind of action this race will bring. But the fact that we don't have De Pretre or Thomas at the front can mean many, many things. Can Max Bayer capitalize on his many hours of practice? Or is his margin small enough for the Mackenbergs, Thomas, De Pretre, Willem Bulke to pressure him into a mistake or suboptimal strategy with the fuel stops? We're on the back straight, coming up to 130R now. And the cars will start lining up in a 2x2 formation very soon. There we go. Everybody now getting into position. And so we get ready for the last green light of 2024 at rrleagues.com. Sven Mackenberg eager to get alongside as we get to the line now. A very long wait until the real start, finish and timing line. And there we go. And Sven Mackenberg gets a good run. Can Max Bayer keep it on the inside line? Thomas is on the inside. Sven Mackenberg tries to hang on, but can't, and now has to take care to not get caught out there, but he doesn't. Oh, Marvin Mackenberg in the background. He is struggling a little bit, has fallen behind Cliff Bilke and Paul Heron, but at the front, let's see. Max Bayer, followed by Sven Mackenberg. Thomas, Bram de Pretre has gotten past Wouter Billen for 4th position, so he's right on the back of Michael Thomas. And so this is our top 5 here. Let's have a quick look at the track map. Anyone so far? No big incidents, it seems. Although Sven De Wilf is currently in last position. Not anymore. He has passed through Dennis back, but they are coming up to Spoon Curve as well. Someone goes a bit wide there. That's Tino the Munk in the Yellow Bull racing car. And he's now behind Cy Fillingham. So all kicking off here, but a healthy gap for Max Bayer, and the drivers will have to look out for track cuts. 2-hour race, so not easy. Let's switch back to the normal cameras. Can Michael Thomas size up an attack here on lap 2 as Max Bayer sets the fastest lap? Thomas tries to upset Sven Mackenberg, but doesn't even flinch and stays in front, not compromising his line. And that's what you should do through this first sector at Suzuka. Keep to your line, and then if you get it right, everything should be fine. So yeah, that rhymes, so it must be true. Stefan Firlos has moved up to 18th spot for now, and Radek Pavlacek, he is in front of Arella and more crucially Paul Heron for the Silver Cup. Let's have a quick look at Radek Pavlacek there in horsepower for the Mustang. Right in the thick of it, in the middle of the pack, sandwiched between two Lexuses. As you can see, times, of course, only 4 minutes on the clock, but very, very close. And again, Michael Thomas, very close, 1/10 between him and Marvin Mackenberg. It's impressive how he can go through 130R. He goes for the inside line, overshoots the chicane. I think he should give that position back. Not sure if he will. Looks like he will, but now he has to be careful to not lose out to Bram de Pretre. But does that very, very smoothly, very cleverly. Michael Thomas slots back in behind. Just outbraked himself as Michael Huma already comes into the pits, gets out of traffic and gets, I hope, what is a routine fuel stop done already. Let's have a quick look. He is going for his spot right now, and this gives Max Bayer a cushion of already 2.5 seconds, and that's not something that you need to give the current champion on the jacks, and already back down, so that's a splash and dash for Michael Huma, and he has already served one of his 2 mandatory pit stops right now, gets out of the traffic. Oh, and another move by Michael Thomas, and this time can he make it stick? Mackenberg will have the inside line. Let's go on board. Oh, Mackenberg once again able to defend. Thomas, oh, going into Spoon, forcing Mackenberg off. And now let's see what happens, because now Bram de Pretre is in the mix. Will Michael Thomas lift off again and let Sven Mackenberg back through? Doesn't for now, but he needs to do so in a safe way, of course. It was a bit, just a bit too deep there into Spoon Curve, so not a fair overtake. But for now, Thomas keeps his spot in 2nd position. Maybe counting on a small time penalty at the end of the race. because, yeah, of course, Sven Meckenberg reports the incident. It will be looked at by the stewards, and any time penalties after the race can still be applied. Driver standards have been very good this season, luckily, so not too many penalties being handed out after the races. But Sven Meckenberg a bit flustered, it seems, now. Let's have a look a bit further down the field, shall we? Because here, for example, between Ruud Dennis, Hannah Song, Sven de Wulf, it's close, but Tommy Kosonen, he's once again right in the thick of it, together with Kevin Rowlands, Cy Fillingham, Tino de Munk. And Rob Taplin is also putting the pressure on Cliff Bilke for 6th position. The beautiful finger racing Ferrari. It looks like Michael Huma is the only one taking the gamble of a early stop, and I feel it's not a bad decision. Oh, as we've lost Bram de Pretre. Oh, so there's been some stuff happening that for some reason I have missed. So let's have a look what happened there. So we have de Pretre. That's this lap here. For now, de Pretre following Michael Thomas. Oh, so a late move for de Pretre, getting past Thomas. Was there contact? Not sure. We'll see. Now will Thomas go for another move? Oh, and they both spin out, the two championship rivals. Sven Meckenberg needs to take avoiding action. Oh, and then de Pretre tries to get onto the track a bit too quickly and gets spun around by, I think that was Cliff Bilke. And so Sven Meckenberg right behind Wouter Billen now, and a bit further back. It's Pavlacek, I think, yeah. So it's all kicking off there. But new status, Max Bayer, not worrying about any of that. But Wouter Billen, 2nd spot. Yeah, he was he was dreaming of a podium spot, podium finish, which I don't think he has had this season. Currently, he is in 2nd. Sven Meckenberg back up to 3rd after losing out in Cliff Bilke by staying out of trouble. In 4th position, Michael Thomas currently in 5th. So it all started with a move by Bram de Pretre in the hairpin. Then Thomas repaid it in spoon curve with some contact, and then it all kicked off. But they are all still driving, so with 1 hour and 50 minutes left on the clock, everything is still possible. And does Wouter Billen have the potential pace? We'll have to see. Tino de Munk is behind Cy Fillingham. Yes, he is. Sven de Wulf still in 17th spot. He just needs to finish in order to claim his Silver Cup title. And currently, de Pretre a lot further back than Thomas after being spun around for I think that was the third time then by Cliff Bilke when rejoining. And so he has his work cut out for him. Hopefully not too much damage. Maybe he can go for a fuel stop right now as well to just get out of the traffic and try to put in his laps, because there's quite a big portion of the track that is more or less empty. So must be a consideration. Rutenis has taken his first pit stop as well. The gap to Bayer at the moment growing ever so slightly. And the battle between Tino de Munk and Cy Fillingham is the closest one on track right now. Let's shift into the helmet of Tino de Munk through the S's. Suzuka, one of the favorite tracks of Cy Fillingham there in front in the Lexus, one of his favorite cars, so must be a good day for him. Always pushing through Degner, but just a bit under the limit, because if you go over it you will spin and you will be in trouble. Michael Thomas, meanwhile, 0.2 behind Cliff Bilke. Looking at the moves made by Michael Thomas so far, he's feeling a bit adventurous today. .130R is such a great corner. And the BMW negotiating the curbs beautifully. .9 already to Max Bayer. It's gonna be tough to claw all of that time back unless he makes some kind of mistake. Oof. Big slide there for Michael Thomas. Seems to have a really loose setup. You can see him working the wheel on the edge of traction. Let's have a look at Bram de Pretre. He's getting past Paul Heron after a small mistake into Degner 2. And so de Pretre up to P10 now. Next up, Radek Pavlacek. Again, sliding around with 1:45 to go. That's not what you want, I would say. But I'm not as quick as Michael Thomas, so who am I to say? Joined the championship and claimed first spot in the first round and never looked back. So serious quality addition to the series. Also Marvin Mackenberg putting pressure on Ralph Arella. As my timing has stopped working, so I'll get that fixed. But you can see a lot of people have put in a lot of practice. Everybody driving very consistently. Gap's not overly big. We see Stefan Firlos. He's right behind Iridius Partis as well. So let's have a bit of an overview. So Wouter Pillen, Sven Mackenberg, Cliff Bilke and Michael Thomas. That's positions 2 through 5. And I'm pretty sure we will see some penalties for track cuts, possibly. Now, Ken Thomas go for the inside line, has a look, but again, Bilke, as you heard before the race, also a former GT3 Masters champion, not flustered by that. And Rob Taplin driving around a bit on his own there between Thomas and Arella. And it's as close as ever between Bilke and Thomas. And up and down the field as well, as I said. Bram de Preter has already gotten past Radek Pavlacek. So the battle for the Silver Cup lead between Pavlacek and Heron is 1.4 seconds. And Max Bayer at the front already 11 seconds in front. Great pace from him. Yeah, he's in the 159s last lap. 159.4, the quickest of anyone. Of course, he has clean air, nobody to worry about in front or behind. And there's not much to choose between Thomas and Bilke. But also Stefan Firlos is very, very close to Iridius Partis. Let's have a look. Oh, and he has Sven de Wulf joining the party as well. So he needs to keep an eye out on his rearview mirror. Lambo versus Lambo with the Porsche in front. Will Sven de Wulf go for the move? He's a bit too far back. This is an epic battle as well. 3 beautiful liveries as well, in my opinion. And the AM Cup Championship leader sandwiched between Partis and de Wulf. De Wulf, the Silver Cup Championship leader. Ooh, a bit wide there for Firlos, and he lets Sven de Wulf go. through the hairpin. Can the Wolf get a good exit? Maybe have a move into spoon curve. Let's see. Very stable as well for him. Whoa. Commentator's curse, I guess. But here is Cliff Bilke losing the position to Michael Thomas coming out of the chicane. Has a look. That BMW will become very, very wide. Let's have a quick look at what happened there. So a bit wide there from Bilke. And Thomas. Let's look at that again. So they come out of 130R. Bilke squeezes. Doesn't leave enough room for the wide BMW, and then Thomas cuts across and gets ahead anyway. Not another decision that I want to make, let's say, but it is what it is. So Thomas moves up into 4th spot. Oh, and all the battles are so close. Bram de Pretre already making his way up to P8. Ralph Varela is his next target. Oh. Is this really Max Bayer into the wall? Can't find him anymore. Yes, he is. He is into the wall. Wouter Billen gets ahead. Oh, quite a big mistake there for Bayer. We'll have a look at it in just a bit. Maybe a technical issue. I don't know. He's a bit slow. He had a big impact there, but he gets past by the whole top 5. Wouter Billen now in the lead of the race, and Max Bayer struggling. Let's have a look once again. We're diving into the replay quite a lot, but we'll never know. Yeah, looks like a technical issue from my perspective. Going all well here, and just lost his steering wheel, maybe. I don't know. Got back going quite quickly, and then just a bit too much power. Very weird there for Max Bayer. Maybe we'll hear about it after the race. He's getting attacked now by Paul Heron. Will Max Bayer dive into the pits for some repairs maybe? I think he will. Yes, he does. Some repairs and some fuel, I would say. So big drama here with a 1 hour and 34 minutes left on the clock. Max Bayer with a technical issue into the wall and now into the pits, losing all that buffer, more than 11 seconds that he had built up. But that makes this battle at the front even more interesting. Wouter Billen now leading the race, legitimately leading the race, and he has Sven Mackenberg, Michael Thomas and Cliff Bilke behind. And yeah, Michael Thomas is feeling adventurous today, so let's see if we can keep it clean. And Rob Taplin up to 5th position, Ralph Arella up to 6th. Bram de Pretre still in 8th, but yeah, Max Bayer a long stop, I fear. Yeah, still in the pits, getting some repairs done. And we have lost one driver. It's Tommy Kosonen due to electricity failure, I read on the Discord channel, so also very unfortunate there. But Max Bayer is back out in 19th position. Let's see where he can end up. At least he has already served his mandatory fuel pit stop. And so at the front, it's as close as it has been this whole season, with a different view. Wouter Billen, Ford, Lexus, BMW, Ford is our top 4. And these guys not shying away from the action. Here they come through Degner, always a nice camera angle. What a big slide there for Cliff Bilke, defending the Intense Racing honors. They will have to concede the title to Speculacious this season. Can they win it back at some point? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the future of the GT3 Masters brings. It's a yearly occasion normally, but you will be informed for sure about what might be coming up in the future. Oh, and Billen goes wide. Billen is wide. What does the helicam say? Billen manages to keep the status quo, but just overshooting his braking point and almost giving away that lead. I said it before, he was hoping for a top 3 finish. Well, now he's at the front of this field. That must be a different feeling. He knows these guys intimately now from the last 7 races. Already quite some hours spent together on the practice server, on the race servers. So they know each other. Wouter has raced with us before as well. So Cliff Bilke trying to hang on at the moment. But yeah, not too big of an issue hanging back there. Can Sven Mackenberg make a move around the outside? That will be a tough one. He needs to be careful to not lose out to Michael Thomas here. He has the inside line. Let's look at this from Cliff Bilke's perspective, shall we? This has to be epic. He's going to be a bit careful, just not really on the bumper of Michael Thomas to just avoid any issues if something happens. But a great battle. And Rob Tappelin is only 3.2 behind. Thomas looking for the inside line into 130R. And there we go for another lap, 15 already. And Thomas in front. I feel like Bilke is a bit less space than the rest. But he can hang on because these guys are compromising a little bit more on their lines, being so close to each other. And all of the front runner setups seem to be quite oversteering. And Wouter Bille doing a great job staying consistent, just trying to focus to the front, not worrying about what is happening behind. He has a 0.6 margin at the last timing line, so that's enough to just keep your eyes forward. And the rest of the battles, the Pretre as well behind Arella now. But this one is the one to watch, of course, through Spoon Curve. Again, some oversteer probably here. A bit less than last time around. There is Paul Heron. He's not too far back. 2.9 for him, so he is closing up at least on Cliff Bilke and on the rest of the field as well. Let's see, Rob Taplin 2 minutes and 8 tenths on the last lap, and the top 4 was all above 2:01. So yeah, also Marvin Mackenberg going quicker, and Bram de Pretre going significantly quicker than these guys. And Thomas is in the pits, gets out of this battle and goes for a stop. So that opens up this gap a little bit. And has Wouter Billens. No, that was I saw that wrongly. Thought he had some traffic in front, but that's not the case. So Michael Thomas in the pit lane. Let's see what kind of gap there is between him and Max Bayer. This will give Sven Mackenberg a bit more focus to the front. And Rob Taplin, he's very close all of a sudden. Michael Thomas back out. We'll see what the timing sheet says in just a bit. But here is the battle for the lead of this race. De Pretre. So quick look at him. He's 0.2 behind Ralph Arella. But Ralph knows how to defend for sure. Now let's see if Bram has the raw speed to go for the inside line here, maybe. Nope, he doesn't. So now I guess Thomas has taken a good load of fuel and tires. And he's going to try and pump out some quali laps now to try and get ahead of Billen and Sven Mackenberg and Cliff Bilke, of course, to the front of this race. Let's see if he can do it. Well, I'll keep an eye out on his lap times. The quickest guy on the track right now is Marvin Mackenberg, actually. So both Marvin Mackenberg and Rob Taplin, they are going quicker than the three race leaders. So everything will still bunch up ever so slightly. 2.2 now between Taplin and Bilke. Bram de Preter has not had the best of luck this season. Quite some smaller incidents costing him some positions or some concentration. So he could have been a bit closer to Michael Thomas in the championship, but wasn't meant to be for this season. It looks like everybody might be starting to struggle with their tires as Bram de Preter dives into the pits as well, just as Rob Taplin and also Ruud Dennis goes into the pits. Here's our top three. Wouter Billen still doing a great job. So it's Mustang, Lexus and Mustang. So the front runners are doing mid, 2 minutes flats. Looking to see the first lap time, real lap time from Michael Thomas. It's not in yet. Now it is 1:59.8. So the guys in front need to act now or they will get caught out by the speed of Michael Thomas on the fresher rubber. Unless they want to swap tires only once. I have a feeling that Thomas and maybe De Preter as well will try and double stint or double switch, let's say. I saw De Preter in front of Thomas, but that's not the case. He is behind Michael Huma even, so gaps are also small. Tino de Munk behind Cy Fillingham, still involved in that battle. And at the front, they are not coming in at the moment. So, oh, and again, what happens here? And this Ruud Dennis moving out of the way. Almost thought it was Max Bayer again with a technical issue. Michael Thomas going quicker, 1:59.4. The guys at the front, 2 minutes flat, 2.3. Will they dive into the pits? They keep going, so it will be a 2-stopper for tires versus a 1-stopper and a splash and dash. We know Michael Huma has taken a splash of fuel already. No tire change for him, so that is a viable option. But I think Thomas at least will be swapping tires twice this race. And so he needs to push as hard as he can on these tires, take everything out of them. And Wouter Billen on the last lap, the quickest of the bunch at the front. So he has the pace, at least over Sven Mackenberg on same age tires through Degner 1. Oh, Sven de Wulf moving up to P12 now. And a stop and go 30 for Paul Heron. That's not what he wanted coming out of the pit, so has sped in the pit lane. And he is in front, yeah, in front of Michael Thomas. So Heron clearly has not switched tires, I think. That would be a bit weird. But he will have to serve that stop and go 30. That's a massive blow, massive penalty for speeding, probably ever so slightly. Will he hold up Michael Thomas, or will Thomas make quick work of the Lamborghini? That's key to his strategy, of course. Heron moves out of the way. He has the penalty. There's no point for him in fighting one of the contenders for the lead of this race. Gap at the front, 0.6. And Cliff Bulke clearly struggling. And Rob Taplin, we'll see where he ends up, if he can get close to Bulke. Let's compare lap times. Bulke 2 minutes and 6 tenths. Rob Taplin on the last lap 1:59.9. 1:59.6 for the Pretre. And Thomas 1:59.4. So the 3 top 10 runners who have already pitted are quicker, but they are on a different strategy to the guys in the top 3, well, top 5, let's say. And here comes Paul Heron. Don't speed again, Paul, because the sim is so unforgiving. Very tough, that one. The Mink and Fillingham still embroiled in that battle. That will be one that will be talked about after the race for sure, with great respect as always. So 1 hour and 14 minutes left on the clock. Really eager to see the difference in strategies playing out. But we will only know at the end. I suspect that the front runners will stop for tires and fuel around halfway through the race, so in about 10 to 15 minutes, and then go for a splash and dash at the very end, and only then will it become clear if they can stay ahead of the likes of Thomas, the Predator, Taplin with their strategy. We know that the splash and dash, get up the jacks, get a couple of liters of fuel, and you're back out, so it doesn't take long, more or less, the time of driving through the pit lane at the speed limit. And then if you take tires, you lose at least 30 seconds. You can take fuel at the same time. So yeah, the difference between the two strategies will be about, let's say 25 seconds real difference. So that's what we should look out for. Wouter Billen doing a good job, putting in the lap times, being very, very consistent from what I can see. So he is doing the job and holding on. Now, the key will be to keep that going until the pit stop, and then after the pit stop, always crucial, get up to speed as quickly as you can. For me, it's always a struggle after the pits, new tires, you need to warm up the car again, and it's yeah, it's a different feeling. You're going out of the zone, so from my perspective, I would always go for the strategy that the guys in front are going for. And Paul Heron's stop and go 30 was not served correctly. He's back into the pits. Oh, that's a big, big blow to him. Let's hope he can come out of the pit lane somewhere close to some other cars to at least yeah, get a bit of a sense of his space and battle from a distance with some guys, because yeah, he will be 1 or maybe 2 laps down even, so that's not ideal to finish off the season for the useless racer. Paul Heron is now back out without a penalty to his name, so that's that. And Ruud Dennis is in the pits already for quite a long time. I see. Is he in for repairs? Quite a long time, at least. And Wouter Billen finding some pace, a 2-minute flat, 2 minutes and 0 tenths for him. And Michael Thomas only doing 159.6, so that's not that big of a difference. Brown de Pretre currently quickest of the bunch, 159.4. So he has a good aim. He is 12 seconds behind Michael Thomas. It's quite a big gap, but he has something and someone to aim for, as Ralph Arella now comes into the pits with 1 hour and 9 minutes left on the clock. on the last lap. Mackenberg now going quicker once again a little bit. So they are trading blows. Here are the race leaders, and Cliff Bilke already quite a ways back now. But nothing is lost. He has gained quite a lot of positions actually this season by just keeping it tidy, staying out of trouble, and being there at the right moment. He's also lost a race which he could have won at Silverstone, where Michael Thomas came out. The first race of the season, Michael Thomas came out in front of him just in the final lap. And Sven de Wulf got passed by Michael Thomas. And Cy Fillingham. So Sven has pitted. No, he has not. So Sven has had a bit of an issue. Small spin maybe, because that battle between him and Cy Fillingham. No, sorry, that was with Tino de Mink. That is still brewing. That is still brewing. Sven de Wulf lost one of the guys who haven't stopped yet. But going strong, fighting off the illness, and most probably claiming that illustrious Silver Cup Championship trophy and the t-shirt that will go with it. He was the one winning the GT World Championship tickets together with his teammate Frank Kervelds last season. And so this season, normally those tickets will go to Sven and Marvin Mackenberg for winning the team's championship. That's still looking very good. So let's see which race they pick to go to. Dennis is still in the pits. Fearful, he's been in the pits for 8 minutes. That's not looking good. Let's see if we can find some info on the Discord. No, not really. So we're coming up onto pit stop time for the front runners, I feel. The gap between Wouter Billen and Sven Mackenberg, 0.6, 0.7. Very, very closely matched. Marvin Mackenberg then quickest. No, sorry. Oh yeah, he was. 2 minutes and 1/10. It's only 2/10 slower than Michael Thomas, actually. So the nose stoppers are not losing too much time on their older tires, which is promising for them. Cliff Bilke is in the pit lane. Where will Cliff Bilke end up? Let's have a quick look of the track map. Bilke in the number 2 is in the pit lane, and there is Michael Thomas, number 28, coming through 130R right now. Let's see, Bilke, he is in the pits. Will he get going? There's Cy Fillingham as well in the pits. So off the jacks, Michael Thomas is up and away. Number 28. And Bram de Pretre versus Cliff Bilke out of the pits. Bilke needs to get heat into those tires immediately and try and fend off Bram de Pretre. And at the moment that has worked out. And Rob Taplin is right there with Bram de Pretre, but Bram going strong, recovering from that off in the opening stages. Oh, slightest tap by Bram de Pretre on David Dore. And David into the wall. Oh, that was not good. And Wouter Billen and Sven Mackenberg are as well in the pits. So let's pull up that track map once again. Billen and Mackenberg. Billen stopping all the way at the end. And I think Thomas will be able to get ahead quite easily, even maybe through the chicane. There is Wouter Billen. He's at the far end of the pit lane. There he is. And Michael Thomas takes the lead of the championship of the race. Of course, because he is pushing quite hard, was quicker on these fresh tires, but he's still on for a tire stop, and Billen is not. Now Billen, they have Ralph Arella between him and Sven Mackenberg. Oh. And is Ralph there on merit? I think he is. Yeah, he's on the same lap, on the same pit stop count. So Ralph Arella mixing it up with Billen and Sven Mackenberg. That's a bit surprising. Didn't see that one coming. So anyway, Michael Thomas has a gap now of 6.5 seconds, and he needs, I think he will need about 25. So we'll have to see how that will play out. So Pavlacek, Bartes, Hannah Song, Sven de Wulf, they are the last ones to make their first pit stop. And Sven Mackenberg wants to make quick work of Ralph Arella. Let's see if he can. Let's go on board. Sven de Wulf in front. in front of Wouter Billen. That is for position. I'm not sure if he will move out of the way so quickly. So now we have to check lap times in a bit. Oh, Sven de Wulf off the track. Was there some contact with Wouter Billen? I fear there was, because he wouldn't be facing the wrong way if that wasn't the case. So very unfortunate. Let's hope Sven can recover. Very close as Radek Pavlacek into the pits as well now. And looking from the helicam, you'll see, or you won't see, I thought Bram de Pretre was behind these guys. He is, but the gap is a bit bigger than I thought. Oh, big lunge! Big lunge from Marvin Meckenberg on Sven de Wulf. Wow! That was a big move there. Marvin really wants to stay with Bram de Pretre there. And we see Ralf Arella in the pits for the second time already. Will he serve his pit stop? And we see Cliff Bilke there in the background as well, in the sandwich between Sven de Wulf and so Arella in the pits, as is Paul Heron, Ruud Dennis. I think Paul and Ruud might not come back, but Arella, yeah, he gets going again. So, and that's his final stop. He is going for a final 55-minute stint to the end. Paul Heron has served his pit stops as well, but he's back out now, so good to see after his penalties. Paul Heron is also back out. But this battle here, Sven de Wulf, Hannah Song, or yeah, that must be Song. Everything a bit jumbled up now. See de Pretre and Meckenberg at the front. And also Partish is in the pits now, Hannah Song's teammate in the Alpha Sim Sport Porsche. And Sven de Wulf goes into the pits. Might need to reset after that big move from Marvin Meckenberg into the final chicane. But as it stands, Michael Thomas has an 8.7 second gap over Wouter Billen. Then 2.2 seconds further down is Sven Meckenberg. Bram de Pretre is back up to 4th. So he has put in a massive stint after that incident to be back into P4. Marvin Meckenberg in P5 just behind him. Taplin, Bilke. So yeah, that whole pack behind Wouter Billen is very close. We can probably even see it. Yeah, there is most of it. And Rob Taplin is trying to hold on. but the gaps are also small. Also, Pavlacek. Cliff Bilke in the pits once again. Will he do the same as Ralph Arella? Some more guys jumping in the pits. Michael Huma as well. Cliff Bilke indeed clearing his mandatory pit stop with 52 minutes left on the clock. So this will all come together in the final stages of the race. For now, the drivers will keep us guessing. The gap at the front has come down again. 7.6 now between Billen and Thomas. Is there a possibility for Thomas to adjust his strategy? He could, of course. Could not just not swap tires, but Mackenberg going for the racing line around the outside. Does not hang on. Around the outside, but keeping the pressure on Bram de Pretre, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Cy Fillingham has finally put a bit of a gap between him and Tino de Munk, but it's not much, 2.5 seconds. And again, Billen getting closer to Michael Thomas. Yeah, Billen in the 159s. Thomas already into the low 2 minutes with older tires, of course. So, of course, Thomas will probably coming in the next 5 minutes for his final set of tires. So we'll see. Marvin Mackenberg. Max Bayer also making it up to P8. Oh, and a drive-through for Rob Taplin. That's, I guess, for track limits. So Taplin out of that battle by a penalty. Now will we see Michael Thomas coming in soon? Marvin Mackenberg really gripping that steering wheel, trying to get into that slipstream of Bram de Pretre, which he can, but he's not close enough. Not close enough. Down to 7 seconds. Down to 7 seconds for the lead as Rob Taplin serves his drive-through. And indeed, Sven de Wulf just has to finish the race in order to get that Silver Cup championship under his belt. And again, Yellow Bull Racing are actually doing a good job. One of the top teams, especially in the latter half of the season. Down to 6.9. Eager to see Thomas in the pits and to see what he does. Bram de Pretre and Marvin Mackenberg, who's that in front of them? That is not Sven Mackenberg. That is a back marker. These guys really pushing hard. Oh, a bit wide there for Bram. Is this the moment for Marvin Mackenberg? Bram goes defensive. And through here, it's just a downshift and turning in. That setup, oh so stable. And Alexis really loves his home turf. Thomas might actually just ride it out, see what he can do, instead of just pitting now and sticking to that strategy. If he has fuel, he can just try and hold on and then decide once his tank is empty what to do. Rob Taplin is back out in 10th position, but he still has to take his mandatory fuel stop. So it is Taplin or Vierloos. Let me check. Yeah, it is Stefan Vierloos in front of these guys. Our AM Cup Championship leader as well. So if you like the stream, feel free to give it a thumbs up. and subscribe to get notified when we go live again. At the moment, there's no broadcasts planned anymore after this one, as we head into the Christmas period. But after that, you will get to see what RRLeagues is up to. Oh, and Bram slow on main straight, it looks like. Really had to go defensive there, and I think Marvin did not expect to be that close there at the end of the straight. Hey, thanks a lot. Stefan Firlos choosing a good place to let them by, but it is scary sometimes, especially because you're really on the edge there in that right-hander before the hairpin. But that all went well as we are working lap 38. 41 minutes left on the clock for this race and for this championship. Michael Thomas currently in the lead, so he will most probably take the championship. And again, quite a bit of overspeed for Marvin Mackenberg, but nothing he can do to make it stick now. He needs to try and stay as close as possible here, as Bram de Preter dives into the pits now. So Bram sticking with the strategy. Normally I expect him to pit and swap the tires. Let's see if we can see that. Bram in the pits, going past Ruud Dennis for his spot. So he does not go onto the jacks, only taking fuel, it seems. Staying stationary. Was that 30 seconds? Might be. So did he take fresh tires? Not entirely sure. We didn't see or feel him go up the jacks, but we'll have to see. In any case, Bram de Preter, first one to pit. I mean, leading the cars who have completed their pit stops. Oh, that's not true. Cliff Bilke is already passed, and he is behind Tino de Munk. Tino now has fallen behind Cy Fillingham by 6 seconds, so that broke. And Michael Thomas, we will time that one. What will he do? He comes into the pits. So he stops there. That's 10 seconds. Max Bayer as well in the pits. That's 20 seconds. So he is taking tires. And that is 30 seconds. He's down and away. So Michael Thomas with fresh rubber has served his pit stop. No penalties for him, so it's a run to the finish line for him. And where is he in relation to the other guys? We'll have to see once all the timing is updated. Max Bayer as well in the pits for his final fuel stop of the season. And Tino de Munk versus Cliff Bilke. Cliff has gotten past Tino. Oh, so Cliff actually in front of Michael Thomas. Oh, this race is going left, right, and center. Cliff Bilke looks to be in the lead, but he still has 36 minutes left on the clock. And Michael Thomas is about 3.5 seconds behind. He has Tino de Munk as a buffer, but he still has to pit. We'll have to see how late Wouter Billen, speculations guys, Pavlacek and Rollins, Fillingham were not really in the mix, but the top three there, we'll have to see what they do, especially Billen and Sven Mackenberg. And Michael Thomas, let's see, there he is. How quickly can he get close to Cliff Bilke? Is that a possibility, or does Bilke have the speed? In terms of raw speed, fastest lap for Thomas 159.0. Fastest lap for Bilke 159.69, so almost 7/10 of raw speed between them. But that says quite little around this track. There are many defensive opportunities to be taken, so we'll have to see what the pit stop cycles do. And let's hope the guys at the front don't leave it until the final moment, so everything and everyone bunches up, and I don't know where to look first, but probably they'll do that to me again. Thomas now already on the back of Tino de Munk. Can he make quick work of him? Or will Tino put up a fight? Tino goes defensive. Switches back. I think that's it. Yeah. Michael Thomas goes through. Now, next up is Cliff Bilke. That will be the battle essentially for the lead right now of this race. Let's see at lap times, shall we? Cliff Bilke across the line, 2 minutes 5/10. Thomas across the line, 159.5, so 1 second quicker than Cliff Bilke. Also half a second quicker than Wouter Billen. Yeah. No, 1 second quicker than Billen, half a second quicker than Sven Mackenberg. Well, very curious to see how that will play out. The gap is too big, let's say, if we count all those intervals between Billen and Thomas. That's quite a big gap. That's 9, too big. So he needs to push And he needs to push very, very hard to get that within an attainable margin. But he has half an hour to do so. Stefan Virlos, we haven't focused on him a lot, but he will take the Am Cup championship. Dennis is still in the pits, already 22 laps down. And so Stefan Virlos still going, and after joining Useless Racers together with Paul Heron, doing a good job in his class, winning by a huge margin in the points. And so big congrats to him. Did a consistent season, consistent drives, not too many mistakes, no big incidents. That is what you need in every single class, in every single battle. Consistency is the key. That's why we also reward commitment. That's also consistency. If we see the same drivers week in, week out, that builds the trust and the knowledge of your fellow competitors, and that only adds to the atmosphere and to the community. So a great job by Stefan Virlos after joining us last time around in the 7th edition of the GT3 Masters. Sven Mackenberg once again 2/10 quicker than Wouter Billen. The gap is now 1.9. That's not a lot visually, as you can see. There is Marvin Mackenberg in the background as well. Oh, Michael Thomas has already gotten past Cliff Bilke. It's a bit quick for my, well, not liking, but I expected him to, I expected that to take a bit longer. But coming out of the chicane, good speed for Michael Thomas. And will he go around the outside? Yeah, Cliff already slots back in behind. Oh, Cliff brakes a bit too late, needs to take avoiding action. But that's essentially now the lead of the race for Michael Thomas. And now he just needs to try and look ahead and focus on Billen and Mackenberg in the strategy battle. So actually I've noticed the track temp and ambient temperature has dropped quite quite significantly actually. So changing tires for Thomas might not be a bad move if he has been able to tweak the pressures a bit as he gets past Cy Fillingham as well. Cy at the moment doing a good job here in the final race of this season. Gap at the front now back up to 2.5. Very curious to see how that will pan out. At the moment, it's not going to be close. It's going to be Billen and Mackenberg, at least. Sven ahead of Michael Thomas, in my opinion. And it would be a first win for both Billen or Mackenberg, because the wins in this season have been split between Thomas, De Pretre and Bayer. De Pretre has fallen back a bit. He was so close with Cliff Bilke coming out of the pits, but now he's 15, 16 seconds back, so something must have happened with him. So last lap times. Billen 4/10 quicker than Mackenberg. 2 minutes flat for Wouter Billen. Michael Thomas doing one low 1:59s. So about 1 second per lap that he is gaining. That means if he can keep that up, 25 minutes, that's about 12 laps. So 12 seconds he could still potentially gain, more or less, if everything goes his way. Next up for him is Kevin Rowlands. There he is, Windward Racing Mercedes. Mercedes versus BMW. Coming up very quickly there. And now a 2 minute and 8/10 for Wouter Billen. Let's see what Michael Thomas puts in for this lap. This time around, Sven Mackenberg was 6/10 quicker. So it's really a seesaw action. Oh, and Thomas will have lost out there as Rowlands was coming into the pits. But this lap time for Thomas, 1:59.4, so 1.4 seconds gained to the race lead. And now Thomas has some clean air in front. Let's see, Sven Mackenberg, the man on a mission. What will it be this time around? Gap now hovering around 2 seconds for quite a while already. It's 2 minutes 3/10 for Wouter Billen and 4/10 for Sven Mackenberg. So 1/10 difference. And crucially, they still need to take the pit stop, and might seem easy, just do a splash and dash, but you need to get it right. You cannot speed in the pit lane, but you need to be on the limit because the gap is so small. If you're a bit too careful, you might lose out, and that's a heartbreaking moment, especially if you take a penalty. And so that's all leading to the climax of this race. These guys still have maybe the most stressful moment of the race coming up, where Michael Thomas and others have already done that and are now just putting in the laps as quickly as they can. Once again, it was a 1:59.2 for Thomas last time around. Billen and Mackenberg in the low 2 minutes, so again 1 second quicker. But will that be enough? At the moment it doesn't look like it, because the gap is 34, 36, 46 seconds. And that's a bit much, especially if you're only doing a splash and dash for the front runners. So and again another lap. Wouter Billen. It's in the 2 minutes and 1/10. Mackenberg 2 minutes 4/10, 3/10 now in favor of Wouter Billen, who keeps putting in low 2 minutes lap times, and that's all he needs for now. Meanwhile, Cliff Bilke is right on the tail of Cy Fillingham. That is not for position. Cy still has a pit stop to do, but still. So the gap staying quite even. And first one of the Mackenberg brothers blinks. Marvin Mackenberg into the pits. He's going to check where he ends up with regards to Michael Thomas. Here he is. Has just stopped right now. And he is back out. So that is a splash and dash. And where will he end up? Thomas, number 28. He's right there on the main straight, so he is behind Marvin Mackenberg, and Sven and Wouter are a bit further up the road even, so shouldn't be an issue for them. But maybe he can still grab another podium. We'll have to see. But Marvin Mackenberg in the lead of the race. 7 seconds, looks like. Or up, sorry. He is behind. He is behind Michael Thomas, so it will be a lot closer than I thought. There he is, yeah, visually. So the track map was confusing me a bit. But Marvin Mackenberg, after the pit stop cycle, with a splash and dash, is behind Michael Thomas. And he doesn't have fresh tires, so it will be very, very tough to defend and stay close. What do the lap times say? 1:59.6 for Michael Thomas and a low 2 minutes for Wouter Billen. Again, half a second quicker than Sven Mackenberg. But yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be very close, to be honest. 15 minutes left on the clock, 15 minutes left in this championship. Sven de Wilf still to pit, Hannah Song still to pit, Tino de Munk, Cy Fillingham, Radek Pavlacek, and then Sven Mackenberg and Wouter Billen. Going to get very close come the end of this race. Wouter and Sven will start struggling more and more with the tires, whereas Michael Thomas has a good set which he can push until the end. So if it comes to it, if it gets close there in the final stages, we might even see some action for the lead of the race. Sven Mackenberg in the pits once again. Let's follow them around. You see number 28 there going through 130R. Sven Mackenberg gets going already. How close will it be? Number 28 is had a small crash, and so that makes it easy for the number 4. And Thomas in the pits. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Very special. Let's see what happened there then to Thomas. So coming to 130R. Oh, and just a spin on his own there. Big impact into the wall. Big impact. And he heads into the pits for repairs, which will be very, very necessary. Still standing still there in the pits with the damage. And so a tough pill to swallow there at the end after pushing. hard to try and get close to the lead of the race. He wasn't getting close to Sven Mackenberg or Wouter Billen, it seemed, but still he was pushing so hard that he lost it coming out of 130R. And now big incident there. Luckily he gets going once again. He's in P11 now, so not too many points scored for Thomas in this race normally, but he will still race it until the finish line. And so that means that Wouter Billen is still out, and I think he could comfortably come into the pits. Oh, even down to 16th for Michael Thomas. And will Wouter Billen now come in? Doesn't make a lot of sense to now wait until the last lap. Yeah, one more pit stop left for Sven de Wulf. Just for a splash and dash, so that will be a quick one. We'll have to see how many spots he would lose. Let's see if Wouter comes in. Don't go picking up any track cuts now, Wouter. He keeps going. And it's lap 54. Sven Mackenberg quite a ways back, of course. Now he has already taken the pit stop. He even came out in front again, in front of Radek Pavlacek. So we have, yeah, Bram de Pretre, Tino de Munk. They are battling it out, and that is for position. Well, not really. Tino still has to take the pit stop, so Sven de Wulf just served his pit stop there. Comes out in 17th spot. Hannah Song will probably slot in behind him after the pit stop cycle. But you see, it's very easily done what happened to Michael Thomas, and so I don't wish it upon any of the other drivers. Cy Fillingham still going strong as well in 6th. So actually we have Pavlacek, Fillingham, Tino de Munk. That's all Silver Cup. And so we'll have to see, will Pavlacek take the win in that class? The gap is quite big, so if he gets a normal pit stop, then that should be in the bag. Class win for him. But yeah, where will they end up with regards to Bartish, for example, or Hannah Song? Up the inside there for Bram de Pretre, coming into the hairpin. Tino de Munk defends well, keeps it wide. Just a small tap there, and Bram will have to try again. Eight-minute left. Hannah Song is in the pit lane. Another possible opportunity for Bram de Pretre. has a look. Wow. And luckily Tino saw him coming from miles away, left a little bit of space, and they made it work beautifully. So very nice pass there for Bram de Petre. Gained that position fair and square on lap 55 of this race already. It's a grueling endurance race here at Suzuka. And actually, Sven Mackenberg, last time around, half a second quicker than Wouter Billen. Now, he didn't change tires, so that shouldn't make the big difference. In any case, we keep an eye out on that gap and see how that will pan out. Will Wouter Billen keep us in suspense until the final stages of this championship? Will he be the 4th race winner in 8 races? Sven de Wulf, he is right behind Stefan Vierloos. Can Sven gain another spot in these dying moments of the championship? 16th is always better than 17th. And it looks like Speculations will finish off the season with a double podium finish, underlining their dominance as Pavlacek comes into the pits right now. Let's see how stable that Yellow Bull Racing is with the sun low, obstructing the view. Whoa, not very stable, that's your answer. Sven de Wulf really battling with the car on these old tires, but he wants to go after Stefan Vierloos. Silver Cup champion, let's call him, versus Am Cup champion. This is a battle for honor. Sven will want to finish in front of Stefan just to make a point. And Wouter Billen is in the pits. We have to quickly move to that battle. Here's the track map. We're looking for number 4. Number 4 is in the chicane. Oh, this is going to be a close call as well. Let's see. Here is Sven Mackenberg. Wouter Billen is out. Here is Sven. And there is Wouter Billen just edging him out. And are these guys coming out between Vierloos and de Wulf? Yes, they are. So let's go back on board with de Wulf. Now this will be key. How do they negotiate the traffic? De Wulf has to let Sven Mackenberg through, and Vierloos has to let both of them through. Probably 3 more minutes, that's not a lot. So Vierloos wants to try and stay ahead as long as he can and make that as easy as possible for him. So Sven de Wulf has done his part Now he just needs to bite into Sven Mackenberg's Lexus and try to follow through somehow and hope these guys are quick enough to force Stefan Virlos. Let's see, Stefan has already let Wouter Billen, our race leader, through. And now this is the moment of truth. Will he let Sven Mackenberg through on the main straight? Looks like he will. And now what will happen here between these two? Has Stefan Virlos lost too much speed? Yes, he did. So that's the move for another position for Sven de Wilf, and he will, if he keeps it together for the next 2 minutes, he will finish in front of Stefan Virlos. But we have two champions here on the screen. Sven de Wilf in the Silver Cup, Stefan Virlos in the AM Cup, both in the Lamborghini. Always nice to see. And let's get our other winner. So they are in order. How beautiful. Michael Thomas in 15th. The Pro Cup champion Sven de Wilf in 16th. Silver Cup winner Stefan Virlos in 17th. The AM Cup winner and Speculacious will win the team's championship. And now, will we see one more lap? We haven't heard that the leader is on the final lap, so will we have one more lap? And can Sven Mackenberg size up a challenge on that final lap? Let's go on board for the final stages of this race. And as before, if you haven't left a like for the stream yet, oh, very, very wide there. Yeah, we will not see another lap. This will be the end of the race. Wouter Billen will take the win here at Suzuka, and look how happy he is. Sven Mackenberg will take second spot, and Marvin Mackenberg across the line as well for third spot. So great job by all of these guys. Cliff Bilke will finish in fourth out of the chicane. Bram de Pretre in the end just in front of Max Bayer. So that also got pretty close actually. Max Bayer in sixth. He will hand over the championship crown to Michael Thomas. Radek Pavlacek will finish in seventh. Ralph Arella eighth in the end. Kevin Rowlands in ninth. Cy Fillingham in 10th. That will be a good result for Cy. Rob Taplin will finish in 11th. Tino de Munk for Yellow Bull Racing finishes in P12. Michael Huma P13, and then 14th for Thomas, as people are already leaving the server. So I think it was 15th, and then Bartish 15. Sven de Wilf winning the Silver Cup. Stefan Virlos winning the AM Cup. Ruud Dennis and Paul Heron unfortunately not winning or not finishing the race, but that was an epic final race. And yeah, good fights all around, good strategy calls. And this is the final race of this 8th edition of the RRLeagues GT3 Masters. So I have to thank all of you for joining us on the streams. It was a pleasure to commentate on these races. The drivers have put on a great show throughout the races, clean fights, uh, feisty, feisty moves from time to time, and yeah, it was very nice racing as always in the final stages of this season. Now I will quickly put on the calendar and then we will talk to our race winner, Wouter Billen. Hey Wouter, congratulations. We could hear you slightly.
How about now?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Good.
Congrats. That was, well, what you were hoping for, or even more, maybe?
Uh, that wasn't like absolutely completely not expected. I mean, Suzuka is not really one of my favorite tracks, and I did not expect a great result today. But I mean, I think I was in the right spot at the right time to pick up the pieces where things went wrong on for other people. So like there was a few incidents where I could just squeeze in between people and take away spots. So I just basically just pick up the pieces, and in the end, well, somehow I managed to bring it home. So quite surprised myself.
Yeah, but it was, from what I could see, great pace and consistency, and indeed stayed out of trouble. There were indeed a couple of smaller or bigger incidents, but yeah, great result and some good racing with Sven. I think not really on track battle, although I think you were happy that the race was not a lap longer.
Yeah, I mean, one lap maybe I would have held. I don't even know, but yeah, 1 or 2 laps extra he would have had me for sure. Um, like the first stint, he was like on my wing the whole stint. I just couldn't get away, and then when I did, I made like small mistakes to allow him back into the slipstream, and he just I just couldn't get rid of him. And then the second stint, he pitted really like relatively early, somewhere midway stint, and I expected his tires to be really bad towards the end, but somehow he just got faster and faster, and I saw the gap coming down, and although I was not really planning to pit until like the very last moment, I was like, okay, I just have to jump into the pits now and hope I come out in front, and yeah, somehow that managed to work out.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Yeah, indeed. So that's yeah, was a nice battle and a lot of nice battles actually for this race. So um, congrats, you're the fourth winner in this series, and I think you will claim third or fourth spot in the championship. We'll have to see
I
after
don't know.
that's been
I don't know.
confirmed, but we'll
It's
see.
gonna be. It's probably gonna be tight, yeah. Because
Yeah,
I don't know. I know something happened to Max somewhere in the first stint. I don't know. I still have to see the replay. But yeah, but it might be third, might be fourth. But anyway, it was a brilliant season. It was
yeah,
I had an insane amount of fun, and to end it like this is like a big red cherry on top of an already very nice cake.
yeah. True. You were always right there in or around the top five, so that's the way to go. And we'll see in the next season what that brings,
Yeah,
how that
I had
will
a,
shape up.
I had a lot of fun, and a big congrats as well to Michael. I think he took the
Yeah,
Pro Series win and all, and the silver and NAM winners as well. Big congrats to them.
yeah. They actually finished 15th, 16th, and 17th in order. So
Oh,
Michael, Sven, and Stefan, they finished a bit further down, but
yeah,
in order of their championships, and then yeah,
cool.
Mecklenburg brothers will take the team's championship as well.
Big congrats to them as well.
Yeah,
I think they really deserve it. I mean, Lexus was not really the favorite for this series,
no,
but I think they did an awesome job with it. So congrats to them.
indeed. Yeah, well, enjoy it. Thanks for jumping in, and
Yeah,
hope to see you one of the next seasons.
For sure, for sure. Thank you for the nice commentary as well, and see you next season.
Always a pleasure. Thanks.
Bye bye.
So Wouter Billen, our fourth race winner of the season, as I said. Um, a good race, a great race actually to finish off this season. The winners will be crowned. The prizes will be handed out. If you want to get information on that, you can always join our Discord channel uh, in order to know what has happened there, who has gotten the commitment prizes, etc. There will be some random draws for that, and then we'll head into the Christmas break, and then we will get working on new racing series in the future. So stay tuned here on YouTube or on our Discord. That's where most of the information can be found the quickest. And again, it was a pleasure to commentate on this season. Have a good evening and see you very, very soon. Have a nice